remodeler.com.
To Repair Show, that music means it's time for another informative show with me, yours truly, the host, Steve Suarez with RJ Grand Plumbing. Joining me in studio is Dan Maka with Maka Homes. What's up, Dan?
Hey, Steve. How's it going? Thanks for having us back.
Oh, man, we're going to discuss the craziness that's going on in the booming home improvement market and the rising cost of materials if you can get them.
Yeah, it's crazy out there right now.
Oh, it's insane. I mean, we're just, well, let me ask you, we're just going to jump right in here. How is it looking? Are you having trouble getting things? I mean, I had a job that was a bigger job that we were doing up in South Elgin. I literally had to go to 4 different supply houses to get what I needed. And usually for what I needed in this particular case, I would go to 2, one for inside and one for outside. Sure. But I had to go to 2 places to get the stuff for outside and 2 places to get the stuff for the inside. It was absolutely just a headache. The traveling I did, I literally spent almost the whole afternoon just trying to find materials. So I can imagine what you're going through.
Oh, it's getting frustrating. And it's sporadic. It's one day it's something, the next week it's something else.
Oh, yeah. It's crazy. I mean, I found, just like I said, if going to multiple places to have to get material, that is time consuming, which time is money. Oh, yeah. And what are you going to do with that? I think there's something wrong with your mic here again. So you want to flip over to the other mic right there. Evan's going to get you taken care of. But yeah, as we, trying to find material and trying to get that and trying to keep all of this, I would say, cost efficient and keep the cost down for homeowners, especially with what we're going with and what we have to do to find available products to keep the jobs going smoothly. That's the difficult part right now.
How's that? Any better?
You're getting there. Let's see. Got it?
Check.
There you go. We're all good.
So, yeah, the materials, it's super frustrating. One day it's something, then it's another. We're pre-ordering as much materials as we can, but even then, like when we hire you guys to do the plumbing, I'm starting to hear of your issues and our electricians' issues. So every time we turn around, it seems to be something else.
Well, everything's starting to just go up, and we did notice that just water heaters, just last week, they went up $150 on some of them. And that's a pretty decent price jump.
That's a big jump.
And what the difficult part is when we have to explain to homeowners who haven't purchased a water heater in several years, well, some of them, I think one we had that was like almost 20 years. And they're like, well, when I replaced this one, it was, it cost me $250 for the water heater. Yeah, that was 20 years ago. So, I mean, a lot has changed. But yeah, it's just trying to keep up with everything, and I know what you're doing. And we've got a lot of things that are coming up here, not only with this market being the way it is, how crazy it is getting material. It's also getting people out there to be able to do it.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, as far as your schedule and how you're scheduling jobs, where are you at?
We stay about 2 months out on average, year-round. And part of that is just because we're ordering materials, cabinets, flooring, tile, all the stuff that goes into a bathroom or a kitchen remodel. So usually we're pre-ordering all that stuff. So timelines, we're booking kitchens. We still have one kitchen spot open in January.
Okay.
Bathrooms we're into February with right now.
Okay.
But, yeah, we're booking jobs. So actually, we have a special going on right now. I know we won't be able to get everyone into the showroom before the end of this month, but we have 40% off of cabinet orders with a free design for your bathroom, for your kitchen, for your basement bar. All you got to do is get a hold of us before the end of this month and get that appointment scheduled with our designer in the showroom and get you some huge savings on your project.
Now, that's one. Well, first, there's two things I want to address on. One, that's huge considering right now with everything being hot, everybody being busy, and just trying to fit in. Mm-hmm. The fact that you're, giving that type of discount or special at a time when everything is just, well, why would you do that? Some people could say, well, I could sell it for whatever it is, and and people are going to take it because, well, they can't get anybody, and I don't like that idea. I like what you're doing, which is, I'm going to give, pricing and specials when I can to homeowners, so they remember you when, hey, this is what you did when you could have done things. When you're not like a lot of these other ones that would be taking advantage of the market. You're giving discounts and giving specials when you can, which I think is pretty cool. And the other thing I wanted to say is you were talking about free design. Now, when you were in here before, you were talking about the design that you do, and I like the way you do that. Now, what exactly do you do, and how many? And who else is doing it like that you know of?
I'm not sure. I think everyone offers some sort of service in that regard, but being that, we have interior designers, architects, and myself on our team in the office, that sort of experience gives us a unique position to not just design in a computer, but to know how it's going to potentially go when it comes time to install. There's certain things that people that only have sat at a design computer aren't aware of and haven't run into. So I think we're more successful in terms of our designs. So we create that. We do 3Ds when necessary. And that's something that we're offering for free this month as part of the purchase. Now, you don't need to pay us to do the whole job. You can just come in, purchase your cabinets, purchase your countertops, purchase whatever you need, whether you're a DIYer or you're another contractor that's looking for a possible new relationship. We have some great options.
Well, before we get to a lot, because we got a lot of little things we're going to talk about over the rest of the show, next hour. What exactly? I walk into your showroom. What do you have in that showroom that as a homeowner or as a contractor looking to purchase? What exactly do you have? What can I expect when I walk through the door?
Great question. We pretty much have everything that you would need to remodel a kitchen, finish a basement, remodel a bathroom, to do a flooring project. Everything from ceramics, porcelains, floating floors, tons of tile, tons of accent tile. I don't even know how many cabinet options with the mixing and matching you can do of the door styles and the colors, but hundreds, if not thousands. And I think the great thing about it is that we offer something that your neighbor won't have from the box store.
Okay.
We have some similar things if that's the look you're going for, but we also have a lot more unique things. And due to those great partnerships with some of these vendors, they've passed along some savings to us for the holiday, and we're going to pass that along to our customers.
Fantastic. Now, what types of brands do you carry at your showroom that maybe homeowners will be familiar with? Because they're, people are doing, and I love this, and we talk about it on the show, is research. They're going to be checking these brands. They're going to be checking these products online for durability, colors, types. Probably even if they're going to be a DIY application, and they're going to take that or decide whether or not they want to take on a project of that caliber, they're also going to be looking at the ease of installation, or I don't want to say ease, but just what it takes to install. And so all those things are going to be taken into account, and they're going to be looking at different brands. And I know some of the box stores, they entice on easy installation, but when I see that, I kind of just cringe when I hear it's easy, because in the perfect scenario, yeah, it may be, but I don't know any house that has that perfect scenario.
Sure.
So as far as the brands that you have, what can they expect?
You touched on quite a few things there, so let me just
say
this.
That.
75% of our jobs, we do the material sales
okay.
Through our retail showroom, and we also do the labor and install. So anything that we've found to be problematic, any companies that haven't stood behind their warranties, any issues we've had, that stuff just goes bye-bye. We only have products in our showroom that we can stand behind, that I know the vendors are going to warranty. And some of the most well-named ones would be like Dow Tile. I think everyone's seen those on the home improvement shows. Virginia Tile, Happy Floors, MSI. And then we also have 5 cabinet brands right now. A couple of American-made, one that's imported from Canada, and a couple of overseas import options that are for the lower price points. So a ton of options when it comes to that stuff. Aristocraft, Kitchen Craft, Mantra, Forever Mark.
They just need to come in.
Yeah, you just need to come in. We have a small kitchen display, so we have a couple of the cabinets set up on display. We have Stackstone in there. I mean, the list just goes on and on. I don't know how much time do we have. Well,
I mean, I don't think we can go through all that. But one thing I like that you said is, and that's something that I do, is I like the fact that you said you've pretty much almost did the legwork for purchasers. You use some of these products, you've checked out these products, and these are the ones that you found to have positive results and positive durability and warranties. So those are things that really kind of will put you ahead, because if you are a homeowner just starting out looking at flooring, you're going to, where do I begin? There's so many options you can go with. And then when you start looking at price, it's like, okay, well, why would I buy this for this amount per square foot when I could buy this for this amount of square foot? And then when you start comparing warranty, durability, you could spend less, and then you're going to wind up tearing that flooring out in X amount of years, or you can pay a little bit more, and this one will withstand what you're throwing at it, whether it be kids, animals, that something to that effect. But in my opinion, like I said, is and I tell people just with anything, even with the show, is like contractors such as yourself worked with you, people love you. People have been, very happy with, with the work that you've done. And even if there was an issue, even with me, let's make it right. You want to make everything right on everything.
Absolutely.
And that's the main thing. That is, and that's what I try to do on this show. What you do on as far as your, at your showroom with the materials, we do on this show, trying to get, quality people in here that have done a really good job and that know their stuff, that can provide options. Now, if someone's listening and say, you know what, I'm going to give them a shot. Yeah, interview them, give them a shot, and give everybody that we've had on the show, talk to them. If anything, to pick their brain, and if you want to use them, go ahead and use them. If you don't want to, then go and do that like you do with yours. It's like, I can sell this to you, I can give you information, or I can take care of the whole the whole job for you to get you taken care of. And
absolutely, start to finish service.
Exactly.
Kind of like to think of us as a one-stop shop.
Right.
You can come in and pick just one part of that process if you want some help, or you can come in and hire us to just do from start to finish, from property preservation to cleanup.
Oh, absolutely.
We can do that.
Yeah.
And I think the key to having that sort of quality and quality control is that, I personally am the eyes on that job. I'm the one making the punch list at the end. Often the homeowner will want to point out one or two things that they want corrected, and I come in and make a list of 10 or 15 things that I'm going to bring my guys back that just need that tiniest bit of tweaking. I'm sorry. I think the
squeaking,
saying, the devil's in the details.
Yeah.
I think the difference between a 9 and a 10 in terms of finished product is just those little nuances that maybe everyone doesn't notice, but I will. And we're going to fix those and make them right.
Well, everybody loves you when you do great. What happens when you make a mistake? Okay, it's how you respond to that and how you make it right is what, is a true test to what type of company you are.
Sure.
And like I said, speaking of companies, we've got, especially with this market, we've got a lot of talk about with a lot of people that are jumping in this market that you may want to look out for. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to get into a little bit more about those companies that are out there.
Welcome back. Your dreams were your ticket out.
Welcome back to the Prepare to Repair Show. I am your host, Steve Suarez with RJ Graham Plumbing. And back with me is Mr. Dan Maka with Maka Homes.
Hello.
All right. And before the break, we were talking about just how crazy this market is with home remodeling and just the volatility, I think, with getting materials and so forth. Now that brings up, when you have this kind of I guess competition and shortage,
Hot market.
you have people jumping into it.
Oh yeah.
And when you have people jumping into it, which may be a good thing, but you also have people that are jumping into it that may be jumping into it for the wrong reasons. And, wrong for you as the homeowner, maybe right for themselves because they feel they have an opportunity to take advantage of things going on in the market.
Speaking of, did you hear about the? I think it's a ductwork cleaning scam that's going around social media.
I've seen bunch of them.
There's some people complaining and groups getting banned and all sorts of chaos surrounding that. They're offering unlimited vents, unlimited returns. We'll clean your house for this, your entire house, regardless of size, for this special price this week only, or something like that, which is just nuts.
I think information is only as good as its source. So when you see that information come over via social media, or I liken that, depending if it's coming from a reputable company, a HVAC company that's been out there a while, and they're offering this service that I can check them out, I can do my research on, then okay, I'm willing to listen to that. But if it's somebody that again popped up because this is something that they can do or claim they can do, then I'm a little bit more leery of it because they got some profile that they just made. And it's almost like, again, buying off of social media is, and I called it, if you don't really check it thoroughly enough, it's like Craigslist with a face. It's like,
I think it's just good. The first step for me is sometimes I'm just using that for referrals.
Yeah.
Like I recently bought a gift for my girl of a remote start. And I went right to a social media group and said, anyone have good referrals for that? But when the market's this hot and there's so many people looking to get things done, you're bound to get a small percentage of people coming in there and taking advantage.
Right.
I think in our area, our service area, there used to be less than 10 remodeling companies that had been around for a while and seemed reputable.
Right.
Now, I don't think I could count them. I don't think I could even count them. It seems like everyone's doing remodeling. Everyone's, doing painting and remodeling, or, you see all these names popping up. It's of people that maybe aren't necessarily staying in their lane. So for me, that would give me pause. While social media is great to get a referral, you do want to do some due diligence. I would personally be leery of handing a large deposit, say on a big kitchen remodel that's $50,000 or $60,000, and there's a lot of materials to order, pre-order, special order, that have to be paid for in advance. I'd be a little nervous about one of these newer companies of handing that sort of money over.
Right. Well, it's not an indictment of the newer company because everyone has to start somewhere.
For sure.
So I get that. But I guess, again, what I always say with us is the only thing you owe me coming through the door, or you owe really anybody, and I don't even say you owe them, but you should give, is common courtesy. Anything else beyond that is earned. So if you're walking through that door and you have really nothing but a smile, then you don't feel upset or just feel that you are being just thought differently of because a homeowner says, well, forgive me if I don't want to give you this amount of money, and don't get your feelings hurt because honestly, they don't trust you and they shouldn't. I told homeowners, like, oh, you're a great guy, I trust you. I go, you shouldn't. And they're looking at me like, why? I'm like, because I have to earn your trust on every job. And trust is given as you build it up. You don't get it walking through the door. I have to earn that. So with every job I do, I build it up and we develop that rapport. So you know that I'm going to do what I say I'm going to do because I've built that up over time. If I just walk through the door, it's like, you don't know who I am. Let me show you.
Yeah.
And some of, you have to build up that name. You have to build up that reputation. If you're walking through the door, don't get upset if you're a new company and you're 100% legit, you got everything, and this is where you wanted to make your mark, and right off the top of, in this market, you want to jump in, then, understand that you may have some obstacles being the new guy or the new, woman or, new company. Understand that, and then just take that what is. But if you're a bigger company and reputable and you have a name out there, homeowners are going to obviously, they may even have the same reservations with you. Mm-hmm. Then what they're going to do is they're going to talk to you and you're going to explain to them, well, if I need X amount of dollars for a deposit, here's where it's broken down. Mm-hmm. Here's where I'm going with it. I have to pre-order this such and such material. I have to buy materials. And in order to give you the price that we're talking about now to do this job when they come in, I have to get the price that it is now.
Oh, yeah. They're changing so fast,
Exactly.
That's why we're pre-ordering more than we've ever done in the past. I mean, pretty much everything but the drywall
right.
is getting ordered in advance. And even on some of the basement jobs with the fluctuations in the prices of steel and lumber,
right.
We're even pre-ordering some of that stuff and keeping it in our place, just because I've seen those numbers go from $800 a job to $4,000 at the highest, And those are just...
It's crazy.
Those aren't things that a company can absorb.
Well, not keep the prices as you quoted. I mean, mm-hmm. You're not going to be able to do that, and it can put you under if you have that major spike, and you're still at but I mean, honestly, to the homeowner, I bought at that price. Sorry, I mean, it's not my responsibility to, not my fault that it didn't go.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So,
and speaking of going under, some of the newer companies that times are hot, and and they're able to get a piece of that work that's out there. But it does make you wonder, in another year or two, are they going to be able to survive? Are they going to have the reputation and the savings to get through the times that aren't like this? Well, so from the homeowner's perspective, are you going to be able to reorder some matching material from them? Are you going to be able to get an answer on what kind of paint was on the ceiling so they can do a touch-up? Are they going to answer the phone, be in business when you have a warranty issue? So those are things that come to mind for me.
Well, that's my concern, I guess, with having the market like it is and having a lot of people jump in. Some are going to be jumping in for the good reasons, where they're trying to, take their entrepreneurial step, which is great. But you're going to have other ones taking advantage of the opportunity for a whole different reason. And if they are using what other people are using, give me a deposit for this, and they're just using that to just get deposits, they can literally, depending on, because the market's hot, they can literally collect a whole large number of deposits before anybody finds out about them.
Oh, yeah.
And then you're really not think about it. If you're doing it for a remodel or kitchen, whatever, and kitchen, bath, and whatever remodel, you think you put the money up to buy material. So you're not going to think anything of not hearing from them for a little while because you think you're waiting for materials.
I think once a year we're seeing somebody on the news.
Yeah.
That's going down for just that thing.
Exactly. Now, I would recommend people paying with credit card if they're going to do things like that, so they at least can have some sort of recourse. And I would follow up, and I would get exact numbers on it. And plus, I would even rewind it. I would look towards reputable people. If somebody comes in and says, well, I can get this done quicker, we're not booked out as much, we have availability, I would question that. That would send up, basically, red flags, horns, blaring. You would have sirens, the whole 9 yards, because everybody's busy. And how are you, the one, company that's able to come in and get all this done and miraculously get all this material when nobody else can? And so, again, double. Now is the time to just double down and really do your research. Have those, those red flags. Be diligent. Be cautious at this point in time, because this is when you really have to have your your eyes out, your eyes open wide, and when you're taking all this stuff.
How do the holidays affect you guys? Do you get a lot of people like, hey, I need to have this done before a certain date? And are you guys able to do that with your company?
Well, we get a lot of people like you, where it's like, okay, the materials came in. I want my kitchen done before the Thanksgiving, or when it really heats up is now all this materials coming in before Christmas, before the holidays. Yeah. So it's like, all right, well, all this stuff is coming in around the holiday. I want it done. I want my kitchen or my bath. I want all this done for the holiday. Yeah. Thanksgiving seems like they're a little bit more lenient with than they are with the holiday, the Christmas holidays. So, I want this done here because I want to show this off, and rightfully so. I mean, you've been working on this remodel for several months. This is your culmination. This is,
This year it's almost impossible to make those promises.
Oh, yeah.
We just had a gentleman who we squeezed in for some work and wanted to have it done by X date. And I said, in a perfect world, yes, that's going to happen, but I cannot make you that promise. If you need that, you'll have to find somebody else, because if we have one hiccup, and just like gears, there's a lot of moving parts that need to go together and go just right for a start to finish job.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And, when you're hiring someone to get all these, just have do enough research where it'll tell you. You'll see when you're looking on some of these forums, or you're looking on some of these all over the internet and even in social media sites, you're going to hear people saying it's going to be very common that we are experiencing this. Don't be surprised if it takes you a long time. Ours had delay. Our cabinets had a delay. Our faucets had a delay. Our countertop was delayed. I mean, whatever you had in there was a delay on it.
Black faucets, I cannot find them anywhere. Almost
really?
Every time somebody's picking them out, we're having to temporarily put in something and then come back and get them later.
You mean your oil rub bronze?
No, the black. The matte black is just so hot right now. So everyone wants it for shower glass, for the door handles, for fixtures.
Okay.
And just even trying to pre-order some of that stuff is just not coming in for us,
We've had trouble getting even some of the top manufacturers that we install, Moen, Delta, even Growy. It's just trying to get some of these are a little bit more difficult to get certain styles. Mm-hmm. I mean, just gotta. It's frustrating. It really is on some of the, hotter items. And I've actually talked to some suppliers that were having trouble getting material as far as their materials, and they've resorted to, buying some stuff from other wholesalers who happen to have some. So say I have, since they're buying from other suppliers.
Oh boy.
That they wouldn't know about their competitors, but they're buying from competitors because I need to have this. And I may be closer than they are. Mm-hmm. So that's where you're going to see some of the prices, because if they already spent, the person they're buying it from, they already bought a wholesale on it. They put their price on it. They tacked on their fee. Now you're going to have the person who bought it. They got to make a little bit of money off it. So that's going to be the frustrating part, and that's where you start getting money coming up.
Is there anything that you see with RJ Graham that you can't get nowadays?
I had a water recirculator pump that it had the thermal sensor on it that would turn on and off when it reached a certain temperature. Mm-hmm. Can't get that sensor. I can get the pump that, you can manually put in the times that you want it off and on, but you couldn't get that particular one. And that particular one is hot because you don't have to do anything. It's going to be set to the temperature you want, and it's going to automatically run when you want it.
You don't have to do like the every other 4 hours, turn them on and off. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it just attaches to the pipe.
Senses the temperature and automatically.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, I mean, I had a customer that wanted those, and so that's kind of frustrating. And just finding, I was looking for valves, larger brass valves for a job that I was doing actually Friday, and normally I get 2-inch valves anytime when I need them. Uh-huh. anywhere. The only place that had it was Menards. So, again, these are really common items, real common items that are no longer common anymore. And they've gone up. Almost like $15.
I had our electrician just tell us that his supplier told him that they're going to be running out of GFCIs soon, and that a couple of plants have stopped manufacturing them. So he was talking about how he drove around all over buying up as many GFCIs as he could find just so he would have stock to complete his customers' jobs.
Well, there was a time we couldn't get water heaters. The big box stores had them, but we installed Bradford White water heaters, and there was a delay in getting those as far as, I guess, the plant that made the insulation was in Texas that provided that foam installation or whatever. And when they had that freeze there, that plant took a hit. Mm-hmm. So, that's what they were saying. I don't know how, if that was the only reason. It could have been a number of factors in there. But I did notice, too, from hearing from suppliers, that there was a manufacturer that makes toilets here that they were having problems. And this is something we're going to go into now is quality of the products. And I tell people right now is warranties, 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 warranties. And if you didn't hear me, I said warranties. And the reason why I'm saying that is because with everything that's happening now, this toilet manufacturer that's made right here in the States, they had, with COVID, they had shut down the plant. Well, a lot of the people that were there, they were an older workforce. They took retirement. They lost a large number of their employees to retirement. So they have a whole new workforce that came in. They don't really know the molds on everything. They didn't know a lot of the tricks of the trades that the experienced employees that were there. So note, hang on to all your experienced employees. Do not let them go.
Everyone needs a dependable throne.
Oh, yeah, exactly. So they were having problems with quality control. They worked out some of the things, yeah. But now because they're experiencing those type of issues, you're going to see that there's going to be some failures. Even some of your best products, even some of your brand name products, you're starting to see some failures on it that you wouldn't normally see because they're trying to rush and keep up with demand, and they may be short-staffed, or their staff that they have is maybe is not as well seasoned as the staff they had previously.
We've had to actually send quite a few things back this year.
So you know what I'm talking about.
I think it's there's no longer a quality control person there.
Yeah.
It's like some of the stuff that they're packaging and shipping out, we're getting in for a job, we're opening and checking it, we're making sure it's the right color and the right size and everything, and half of the stuff we're opening up we're seeing damaged or just some finish issues, and we're having to send back and reorder. And in some cases, we'll have to bring the customer in to select a new product.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we're not going to get this one again. We can either pause, push off the start date, but if you're already in the middle of something, sometimes we're just having to reselect that. So usually we're finding a workaround with our company,
Right. Well, quality, that's another challenge that we're running into. It's another challenge that we're having to deal with is having, not only shortage of materials, but the quality of the material when we finally get them. There's times when I get a box or I don't open it until I open it in front of the homeowner, because I want them to see the condition in which we get this. Because if it's in great condition, okay, we're good. And if it's not, then I want them to see that, it's not. I don't want anybody, well, you could have broke it. No. This came here to you, and I'm opening it in front of you, so it has everything. But I did learn something from the last week's show. We had a rep from Navi and Tankless Water Heaters, and he told me, he said, he goes, I was able to watch a video of these products, these tankless water heaters being manufactured. They are not touched by humans.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
The whole process is automated. It's all put in. So he says if I get one that is, they say, oh, this thing was damaged, it was broken in the box or whatever, he says, I'm going to tell you right now, I need to see the box, because the quality control that they had coming out of the factory
Oh, that's great.
And they're made in South Korea, but when I hear they're moving it over here to keep up with demand.
Good for them.
Oh yeah. So we're going to talk a little bit more about these quality control issues after a quick break.
Welcome back. Your dreams were your ticket.
Welcome back to the Prepare to Repair show. I'm your host, Steve Suarez with RJ Graham Plumbing. And joining me is the fabulous and wonderful Mr. Dan Maka with Maka Homes.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be back.
Awesome. I appreciate having you. I really do, because you give a ton of information, and having worked with you on a lot of your projects, I can say from just experience that homeowners have been very happy with you, the finished product that you gave them, and when something wasn't right, you made it right. And that's what you ask. That's what you can ask for from a quality company. So you heard nothing but positive things about you.
Thank you, Steve. Appreciate that.
So, but yeah, like before the break, we were talking about just the quality control and some of the products we're getting. So, I would say the message I would give to listeners is check everything that you're getting and double check when you're opening out of the box, and understand that if you're buying products, warranties are the key. Warranties are going to be number one now, because you want to be able to take it back if there is an issue, and that's what I'm stressing on now more than ever. So
it's good advice.
And great return policy if you can do that. Now, I got to talk to you about something here. I keep getting yelled at, Dan. I keep getting yelled at my humble abode.
What did you do?
I didn't do anything.
Was it? Did you not make that famous dinner you were telling me about last time I was on?
Actually,
was it the chicken pasta?
No, it's chicken parm.
Chicken parm.
And I do really good at that. Don't knock my cooking skills.
Maybe she wants you to try something new. Keep it exciting.
Hey, I make my own steak tacos. My daughter loves mine. My wife loves my steak tacos that I make. And I make like when I make them with the cilantro, the onion, and the cheese. So I try to keep it as authentic as I can.
It's lunchtime, and you're making me hungry.
Hey, I can actually do this. So, but in my house, they have, and I think it's a lot of some of the newer houses they have pillars that they've used. And I've talked to you about this. And for some reason, they put these pillars in the line of sight that are just awkward. And my wife she says, "What were they thinking? What were they thinking?" And I'm like, "I don't know." And I'm looking to see if they're structural, because I don't know anything about this. I do plumbing. I can make water go here. I can make water go there. I can make water go everywhere you want. But I don't know a lot of structural things. So she goes, "Well, don't you have someone you can call? You have Dan on the show. Why don't you call Dan?" I'm like, "Okay, I will call Dan." Did you call Dan?
Thank you, Mrs. Suarez.
Yeah, did you call Dan? Did you call Dan? I go, "Yes, I called Dan." So basically, when you
take a look at that, are they? So I'm guessing they're right in between like the kitchen and your living room, when you want to have that fully open concept, hangout space, and
they've got two within like 4.5 to 5 feet away from each other. And my poor daughter, when she's sitting, because it goes from, you can see it from the kitchen into the living room. When she's sitting there, she's unfortunately got the seat that's right in front of the pole. She's got the Wrigley Field obstructed view seat. She got the short end of the stick.
Does she pay less for that spot?
She didn't even pay for the spot, and that's why she wants her money back. She got it for free, and she's complaining. So
yeah, we'll have to take a look at that.
It's just, and I'm thinking to myself, I don't know if it's structural. I don't know anything like that. So it's just one of those. I guess one of the things I want to ask you is, from your experience in dealing with, building homes and doing what you're doing. Now, a lot of that is that, because the house was built in, I want to say 2005. Was that a kind of an aesthetic thing that they did on it, where you could have one or two that are structural and then the other one was put in to offset for aesthetic reasons? I mean, have they done things like that? Or, obviously this is not something that you're like, hey, you could pull this thing out and then, no, you obviously want to have it checked out and by a, someone who's competent and such as yourself, but
absolutely.
But as far as, have they made things like that? Where it's aesthetic and so forth.
Sure. I'm guessing there's probably a two-story great room or foyer attached to this area, and it's very common for maybe two of those to to be
hold up a catwalk
structural,
type deal. Yeah.
and 2 of them to just be there aesthetically to just kind of balance things out for symmetry. No way to really know unless you've got the original blueprints, whether they're structural or not. But we can certainly take a look at that, and then if needed, bring in an architect to draw up some new plans and say what do we need to replace this with so that we can hold up the second floor and get rid of this column.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's ways to do it. It's just I want to find the best, most cost-effective way to do it. That is also going to give make it as aesthetically pleasing as I can. Say that 10 times fast.
And plus, a happy Miss Suarez is a good thing.
Yeah, because she keeps giving me a hard time about it. And rightfully so. I mean, I've forgotten, and so everything she's yelled at me about is richly deserved. Believe me. So I mean, I kind of bring out the best in her when it comes to that. Don't laugh, Dan. It wasn't that funny, okay? So, but hey, you know what? I've been married, 27 years, and I still have all my original teeth. So I didn't say anything too stupid.
Well, you're successful. You're reputable. You're doing something right. And
tell her
Lord
that.
Knows, no great man or great company does that without somebody.
Tell her that.
A puppeteer pulling the strings and supporting and strengthening and helping you with what you have to do. So I'm sure she's those things.
She's the brains behind it. I'm just I'm the pretty face.
I'm sure there's a radio joke here.
No, we're all in trouble if that's the case. Because believe me, if you're relying on my good looks to catapult this into the into the future, oh boy, are we in trouble. I got a face for radio.
Too funny.
Oh boy. But I mean, getting back to it, it's like a lot of things were done that were aesthetic and some were structural. So I mean, I doubt I'm the only one that's run into that. It's probably common throughout, and as they get dated is what I'm getting at. Because
we get a similar question in our field all the time with soffits. Architecturally, they don't hold anything up. You never know if there's something in them. But they used to put soffits above showers, soffits above all the cabinets in kitchens. Not everywhere, but it was a very common practice.
Right.
So we get that question all the time. Can we take these out? Yes, 95% of the time they can come out, and most of the time there's little to nothing in them. Occasionally, they're filled up with every other fixture in the house: a plumbing pipe, a vent pipe, a duct, some water lines, and 14 pieces of conduit. So occasionally they're not super easy to take out, but for the most time we can get that bigger kitchen and another shelf in those upper cabinets. And
because we've gotten a lot of calls to remove water lines that may have been put in there, or to reroute water, reroute a vent, reroute some piping there, so you can get that. And believe it or not, I mean, just like I say, a pillar can be obstruct and be frustrated, and again get dated. But I mean, can you imagine going through, you have this whole design that you want to do with this new kitchen, and then you're almost stuck going back with the same layout because of a soffit that let's move it, and it gives it a whole updated look where it may have been in when they built the house, but now with the design you're going with, let's
take it out, get some crown molding up there, maybe some indirect lighting.
Oh yeah,
those are fun things to do.
Absolutely, and it's again, I know I'm not the only one that has had this issue as these houses start to get a little bit older, and you're running into these like I said, the soffits, these you probably even run into it with cabinets where you have they have this empty space there, and it's like, okay, why didn't you do something with this?
I see a lot of those spaces where I just kind of scratch my head and go, boy, what were they thinking? Did they have a incompetent designer? Did they have a budget that didn't really afford them the best layout for a most useful space?
Or they cookie cuttering. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, well, this is the design we're offering. That's what you're going to get. That's what we bought cabinets for.
You see a lot of the tract builders do things like that, where it's like they're only looking at the cost of those cabinets, not what's going to be most functional or useful for the homeowner. And luckily we get the pleasure of working direct with the person who's going to be using it most of the time. So we like to find out, what do they like about their current space, what's working for them, what's not, before we start coming up with some concept to present them. Here's how I think we should do your new kitchen.
Fantastic.
I think it's going to be better for all these reasons.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, that's what, I was, when you bring up like builders and, track homes and or not track home, but just where they built multiple phases. I've ran into instances where this was a water heater. I got it from the plumbing end. You run into it from a whole different point of view. But I had a homeowner that they lived in a house for 3 years. It's a brand new house. They lived in it for 3 years, and their water heater had a problem. I'm like, okay, your water heater should be under warranty. I go there, and the water heater was almost 10 years old. Yeah, and they gave me that same look you just gave me. How could a 3-year-old house have a 10-year-old water heater? Well, there were 5 phases to this development. They used the same plumber. Well, what happened is when they started the first phase, or the first couple of phases, they bought lots of these. They bought a lot of water heaters. They bought, and they bought all the fixtures. They bought everything they needed. Well,
bulk buying for
bulk
budget
buying,
reasons.
exactly. So when they did that, by the time they even started this water heater was out of warranty.
Oh boy!
Yeah, that was something that was a head scratcher.
I would not be happy if that was mine.
No, it's not common. But those are things I've run into where.
There has to be a little bit of delay there between production to the place to the end user. How do you guys handle that with your warranties? Does the warranty start at the date of production, or does it start at the date that you install it for your customers?
Well, here's what you got, and that's a very good question. And when you have products, they will, like some pumps and water heaters. If you don't have a receipt from a licensed contractor of the install date, they will automatically default to the date on the unit or the tag on the pump, tag on the water heater. Now, in the event that you don't have a receipt, there's a date code on it. For the big box stores, if you buy a water heater from them, they will give you 1 month beyond that date of the water heater. If it's a product you bought from a supply house that was installed, then they will... the rule of thumb, they'll give you like 3 months, I think it is, because of the fact by the time that they get it, by the time that they get it shipped to the wholesaler and it sells to the contractor or sells to the retailer, there is that delay. So they will count for that. But if you don't have a receipt, they automatically default to the tag. So.
If I use RJ Graham to change out a pump and I need to do one at my own house. And I lose my receipt. Is this something you guys keep records of for your customers?
Well, we cover the warranty for 3 years. That's what the manufacturer's warranty is. So when you just make a phone call, we handle it. Because
awesome.
they'll have us on when we purchased it. They'll have us when we got it. So
this is why you're on our speed dial, Steve.
And that's why we do the same thing with water heaters. That's why we cover them bumper to bumper for a minimum 6 years. 3 years on pumps. So if people want to reach out to you over at Maka Homes, how do they get in touch with you, Dan?
So they can contact us a few ways. Obviously, we're in all the social media avenues, but they can call us directly at 708-995-1776 and speak to the wonderful Mr. Brian in our office, and he'll have some questions for you and can get things scheduled. You can also email us via our website, which is www.makahomes.com.
Address at F Showroom?
11545 183rd Place. Orland Park. We're in Suites 108 and 109. The showroom's in 108, warehouse and facilities in the next unit. So, yeah, stop by and see us.
Fantastic. Great having you on. I want to thank all of our guests, or actually, Dan, you're my guest, for listening today.
Ego.
All of us. Hope we were informative, maybe a bit of entertaining. I hope so. I mean, because I do my best. But